listen, you want to make $100,000. You have to provide $100,000 worth of value. That's the equation. You want to make $1 million? It's $1 million worth of value. Why does Bezos have like 240 billion? He's provided $240 billion worth of value. That's just what it is. Let him in.
What is going on, everybody?
Welcome.
All right, pulling up the chat. Drop in the chat where y'all are located. I'm Elise. I'm head of community experience here. We have Dakota, our member trainer. I don't know where he is on the box. AJ, our head of customer service. And then the man with the plan, Brent Daniels.
Yes. Let's do this thing. I want everybody to put in where you're from, because it is really important that you are squatting up and connecting with people that are in your market. We need to surround ourselves with people who are in this business and who are doing this business. That is absolutely key, especially if you're just getting started out, because you've got that unique brain, right? We all have that unique brain that says to themselves, you know what? I want to own real estate investments. I want to find discounted properties. I don't want to work just the average 9 to 5. I want to expand what I'm doing and be able to be a true real estate entrepreneur. So make sure that you're squatting up in the comments here, in the chat here, so that you can find people that you can connect with and then build really, really excellent relationships, especially if you're just getting started.
Yeah, we got 317 in the house. So I'm Indianapolis. Brent, you can tell them where you're from.
Phoenix, Arizona. I'm in Phoenix.
Hey, as you say that, Chris, Phoenix. Awesome.
There you go.
This is great. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you don't mind answering the quick poll we have, we just want to see, you know, where you're at with DealMachine, if you've been a member, if you're thinking about it, if you're not quite sure. So we hope we can answer these questions for you. So we're going to start off. Brent is going to tell us a little bit about him and getting in his real estate investing journey. We will do then a live Q&A. And then after that, after this first hour, we're going to do a demo of DealMachine where you guys can ask us questions. Dakota will be doing that with me. So start dropping those questions in there, because you guys don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Brent is a wealthful of knowledge over here.
Yeah.
So Brent, why don't you go ahead, start us off telling us how you got into real estate investing and your program that you've created through that.
Love it. Love it. And listen, guys, just to set the table here, I've been using DealMachine for years. I think, 2017, I started using DealMachine. So it's been 4 years. Okay. I've made an absolute fortune off of building a team to drive for dollars, get those addresses of the ugliest properties in Phoenix, Arizona, in Flagstaff, Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, in Sedona, Arizona. I have all of the worst properties, and we constantly and continuously reach out to them proactively. We pick up the phone and we call all of these leads. These are the best leads. And without a doubt, the fact is this: I've coached thousands of people around the country. I am telling you, 80% of brand new real estate investors get their first deal from driving for dollars. All right. That's it. And the other 20%, usually it's a referral from like a family member or something like that, or a real estate agent. 80%. That's how powerful it is to actually use this phone and the app, the DealMachine app, as you're driving around. And guys, I'm telling you, nobody spends more money in research and development. Nobody spends more money on their personnel, on the people, the incredible people that work with DealMachine. They do a fantastic job. Nobody's even close to them when it comes to this type of resource. All right. This tool that you have. So go out and absolutely use this. So just listen, I've been doing this for 17 years. I got a real estate license in 2004. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read Think and Grow Rich. My little 22-year-old brain exploded, and it just changed me. It put me on a path to be a real estate entrepreneur. Maybe some people out there have had a similar experience to that, where you just read something or you've been around something, or, you know, a lot of times it is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then all of a sudden you're changed forever. But the issue with those books, the issue with a lot of these books and a lot of the podcasts and a lot of the YouTube videos and a lot of the research that we do once we get excited about something is it's a lot of education. All right. It's not instruction. Remember, whenever you're reading a book or listening to a podcast or watching YouTube, you have to put it through 3 filters. Is this entertainment, which most of it is? Is this education, or is this instruction? Can I have an action plan? Do I know what to do to go out there and actually take action, right? Actually be able to implement what I'm learning. And that's all I do. Okay. I'm going to just give it to you straight away and show you exactly what you need to do to go out and get your first deals and go and build that. We're going to do that in the first like 10, 15 minutes here, and then we'll open it up to all your questions. All right. Fair enough. So here's the thing. Over that 17 years, almost 2,000 deals done, have an incredible team here, work with all of my best friends. I work with my family. It is incredible. Everybody's part of this thing. It's a real interesting and unbelievable community that I have, a tribe that I have here. And it all came from my ability to open up my mouth and talk to people. All right. I am telling you, I lost everything in the downturn. In my 20s, going to 30s, I was a complete asshole. My ego went bananas. I thought that I could not be stopped. I thought the wind was behind my back. I thought that the real estate market it would always be fruitful. It would always be productive. And then it wasn't. And I was set down, and I ended up with a judgment because I had leased an office space for this big, for this big company that I was going to build, this big mega company. And I signed the lease, and then the economic world collapsed. When you don't pay a lease, they sue you. I had a judgment for $742,000. So maybe there's some people on here that are like, I don't have a lot of money getting started. I started $742,000 in the hole. I had to go to an attorney's office every 90 days to review any dollars that I had. All right. So I was going after the only way that I could go out and get out from underneath this burden, this stress, was to go out and find distressed property owners, motivated property owners, ask them if they would consider an offer on their property, and then sell that deal. Either sell that deal to somebody that I knew or some other cash buyer that was out there. And slowly I was able to climb out of that hole, settle that judgment, and then boom, I was off and running. So what I'm telling you is this: if you're at rock bottom, great, because that's a solid foundation. All right. If you've never done a deal, great. You don't have any bad habits. All right. If you're just getting into this, you're really excited, you're going out there, you're adding all of these properties to your DealMachine app, great. Let me tell you what you need to do to actually turn something that is just ones and zeros on your phone to actual income in your bank account. Okay. What you need to do is you need to take these addresses and you need to call the property owners. Call or go to the door or leave a note or mail them. All right. But if you don't have a huge budget, then you have to be proactive. You have to trade time and effort for these opportunities. All right. That's what you have to do when you're getting started out. So either you're going to the door or you're calling them. I think it's way more efficient, especially as the weather starts getting colder, that you just pick up the phone, call up somebody and ask them if they would consider an offer on their property. Because having the addresses stored on your DealMachine app, it doesn't do anything until you go out and have a quality conversation with a distressed property owner. All right. And by the way, I have all these resources. I don't know if one of you guys could type it in and just TTP Insider, ttpinsider.com. There it is. Matt put it on there. That's cool. TTP Insider has all the scripts, all the stuff that I'm going to be talking about, all that stuff. I encourage you to get in there. It's absolutely bananas how much resources we have in there. But when you go and you call, so a lot of people have fear. I don't want to call strangers. I don't know how to reach out to them. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm supposed to be asking. I feel very awkward. I'm not from this industry. I'm 18 years old. I've been a teacher for a long time. I've been in the military. I drive trucks, all of these things, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you understand these 4 things, you could talk to any property owner anytime. All right. These are the 4 things that you're trying to find out from that property owner, and they go in this order. Number 1, the condition of the property. When you start asking the property owner about the condition of the property, they are more likely to open up the conversation and let it breathe. The longer you talk to the property owner, the more you're going to get, the more comfortable that they're going to get, the more of a relationship you're going to be able to build with them over the phone or in person. So you want to ask questions like, hey, what remodeling have you done to the kitchen and bathrooms in the last 5 years? Right? Open-ended questions, very specific. It starts getting the ball rolling. Okay, great. How's the flooring? How, if you were to like really, you had a magic wand and you were to wave it over your house and make it like HGTV, like movie ready, where would you spend the money and where would you improve? Like these type of questions, open it up. And then they start talking about the condition. The second one is, what's their timeline? This is critical. This is absolutely critical that you find the timeline out, because yes, they might consider an offer. Yes, the price might be something that they're considering, but they might not want to sell for years and years and years, or when somebody graduates high school, or when they find somewhere else, or when they retire. All of these things, it matters, because the strength of a lead depends on the timeline that they have. The shorter the timeline, the better the lead. So 1, you want to get the condition. 2, you want to get the timeline. Mr. or Mrs. Seller, typically, I can get you your money for this property in the next 2 weeks or 30 days. Does that work for you? No, that would never work for me. I need to find another place. I haven't even talked to my wife about this. I don't know. All of these things, you want to be able to pull this out. But I'm telling you, if you get the condition and the timeline, the third one, the motivation, what's their problem? What is the motivation of this distressed property owner? You will naturally get the motivation, which is incredible, because now you know the condition, timeline, motivation. The last one is the price. Okay, it sounds like you are ready to just get this off your hands. If I could come in, the way that we purchase properties is we buy them cash. We buy them completely as is, so you don't have to put another dime into the property. You don't have to pay a real estate agent. This is a net offer to you. For an offer like that, cash as is, what are you thinking? How much would you take? And then boom, now you've got the condition, timeline, motivation, price. You get all 4 of those, you get in front of that seller and you get the contract signed. And that's it. That's what you want to do. You want to get in there, make sure that you're pre-qualifying, make sure that you're having conversations. And now that you know those 4 things, if the seller starts spiraling out of control or they start hitting you with tough questions, just pull it back to those 4 things: condition, timeline, motivation, and price. Got it?
I hope y'all had pen and paper out, because that's what you gotta write this stuff down.
Yeah. And listen, listen, from there, listen, this property, if you're driving, has distress. It has distress because it's a property that's in rough condition. Now, all you have to do is have a quality conversation with the property owner. And then from there, it comes down to the price that you offer them, the terms that you offer them, and whether or not they want to do business with you. That's it. Price, terms, and you. That's what all negotiation comes down to: price, terms, and you. So you've got them pre-qualified, you're following up with them, you get on the appointment, and if the price and the terms are acceptable on both parties and they want to work with you, you get that deal. And that's how you do deals.
Told y'all he's a wealth of knowledge. Before we get into our Q&A, bringing people up, and by the way, everyone, oh wow, someone just posted a big old question there. We're gonna start bringing people up, but Brent, I want you to tell them a little bit about what TTP is, how they like, what to kind of, why they would want to use it, or if it's fit for them.
Well, listen, just go to TTP Insider. If you guys enjoy my energizing enthusiasm, or think that it is, I would just check out the YouTube channel. Honestly, Brent Daniels on YouTube. We've got a ton of content there. We go live. We answer a lot of questions every single week. So I'd love for you to participate in that. And then from there's enough stuff that they can find out about the coaching and everything there.
Lives on Wednesday?
Lives on Wednesday, lives on Monday, lives on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Hot
But
diggity dog.
specifically just me like this answering questions Wednesday, 10 a.m.
Love it. Okay,
Yeah.
let's start diving in. Dakota, who's our first person up?
All right, let me get Kenny up here. Let's see. I'm gonna add him. At least he can ask his question. Let's see if we can get him added over as a panelist real quick so we can use his video.
Hey, Kenny.
Very least should be able to use his mic now.
Got a great logo. Oh, there we go. Hey, Kenny.
Okay, I'm ready. How are you?
There we go.
Hey, Kenny.
What's up?
What's going on, man? How can we help?
So my question is, I think I wrote it in the chat. So I haven't done a deal yet, but I'm kind of like an analysis paralysis kind of.
Yep.
And my question is, once I get the contract like signed by the homeowner, how do I then go through the process of having it signed from the homeowner and then reassigning it?
Well, that's a good question. So first of all, Kenny, let me get to the root of this. What's stopping you from taking action?
I'm a full-time student, so.
Okay. But we have 168 hours in a week, Kenny. How many hours are you dedicating to your full-time student?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
It's a good
But
question.
definitely not that much.
Yeah, Kenny, listen, it's not a time issue. It's a priority issue. It's an energy issue. You know what I mean? Obviously there's something different about your brain that's exciting and wants to understand and go after real estate opportunities while you're going to college. What are you going to college to study?
I'm studying mechanical engineering.
Awesome. That's what's holding you up. It's because you've got that beautiful analytical mind. But if what you do is you need to just take sustainable action. So first of all, before we get to, how to assign all of these things, by the way, it's all in that TTP Insider, the whole breakdown on how to do that. But before you get there, you have to get a lead, right? So you have to have a conversation, a quality conversation with one of these distressed property owners that you're adding to your DealMachine account, right? So once you get that lead, then you got to convert that lead. There's really only three parts to this business, Kenny, if we want to break it down and make it simple. One is lead generation. The second one is converting that lead into a signed agreement. And the third is your exit strategy. And as you're talking about, you can wholesale it, you can keep it as a rental, or you can flip it, right? There's only, a certain amount of options there. So the first part, that's where you really need to building that momentum, Kenny, and reaching out and having conversations with these property owners. And I get it. It's scary. It's different. It feels awkward. It feels weird. It feels foreign. But the more that you do it, if you talk to one person today, that's incredible. You talk to two people the next day, three people the next day, four people, whatever it is, just take sustainable action, Kenny, for lead generation, because that is truly the engine of your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Okay. And then from there, what you'll do is once you get that contract signed, then you find a cash buyer that wants to purchase that. And you do an assignment agreement. So it's a separate contract between you and the buyer. So you assign your rights to that purchase contract to the next person for a fee. And that fee is the assignment fee.
Would that happen through title, or what would that happen?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what would happen is once you got the purchase agreement, you open up title, right? And you have them start their job. And then you go out and you find that cash buyer. You have them, you find the right one that's willing to put non-refundable earnest deposit down. So you know that they're real and they're not just wasting your time. And then from there, you assign your interest to them. They sign it and you send that to the title company.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Thanks, Kenny. Let us know when you close that deal. When you close that deal.
Yeah, Kenny, just take action, brother. Just little by little. Remember, the word sustainable is like the most important word when you start out, because it has to fit into your life. It has to fit into your schedule. It has to be something that you can do every single day. Even if it's little action, the momentum starts. Think of your business as a train. The engine of that train is the lead generation. The only way that thing starts building momentum is if you start taking action.
Exactly. Okay.
You got this, Kenny.
Thank you.
All right, brother.
All right, we got Ebony. Ebony has a lovely picture. How are you, Ebony?
She's rejoining here.
Okay.
Over to the panelist side. There we go.
Hi, Brett. Thank
Ebony, how are you?
for bringing me out. I've been wholesaling for about 4 years, since 2017, and I do use DealMachine.
Yep.
My question is, when did you know it was time to scale and add others, and how did you do that?
I love it. There's a 3 by 30,000 rule. Once you go 3 straight months of making $30,000, you're allowed to hire somebody.
Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, I mean, Ebony, here's the thing. Like, though, every time I look at that, that's a really simple way to do it. Because what happens is once we start getting out and hiring people, now we have the financial responsibility for them are in our hands, right? So we need to make sure that we do everything to make them successful. So the first people that you start bringing on are either going to be generating the leads or taking care of the leads, right? You're either bringing on somebody to maybe make the calls or texting or whatever else, and you start taking on those leads and you convert them, right? And then next you start removing yourself from that position. You bring on somebody that's really good at sales, and they're really good at communicating with the property owners, and then they start taking over that part of the process.
Perfect. Thank you. Makes perfect sense. That
You
helped.
got it. I like
Thank
the
you.
picture.
Thank you.
Ebony, can I just ask really quick, where are you located?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, come on. So
Nice.
much opportunity, Ebony. Get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep
She
killing
knows.
it, girl.
He knows.
All right, we got Kirk here. Kirk Smith, hello. Is Kirk connected, Dakota?
He should be able to use his mic. I sent him a panelist link here, or I guess request. There we go. Now he's rejoining.
Okay. Gotta love Zoom. Oh. Kirk, I saw you unmute. I know you can. Oh, there you are.
Hi. Sorry
Hi.
about that.
No, you're fine.
Forgive me, I got a terrible cough, so if I cough, I'm sorry. But my question really is around do not call. So I know a lot of people have a lot of success making the phone calls, and I'm very anxious to try that, but there's a lot of horror stories you hear, and I'm told that the do not call list now is being more monitored, or will be, by the government. So I'm just curious if you have any issues with that, if that's something we should address in some way, and how you handle that.
Yeah, I remove all the do not call lists, but
Okay.
honestly, Kirk, I would be do the research a little bit and find me one person that's been sued.
No, I'm completely with you on that.
And I'm not saying, listen, I am telling everybody, remove the do not call list. It's just not worth your time. If somebody's going to take the time to set that up, just go to the door. That's fine. Go to the door, send them mail. I mean, there's other options out there, right?
Okay.
And so, yeah, I would remove them, but the horror stories usually come from attorneys, and let's just be honest, attorneys are they're doomsday. Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, their
Right.
job is to make sure that the worst things are talked about. So I would just it's not as prevalent as you think, but I would remove them.
So you do feel that phone calls is your best way to connect?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, no doubt about it.
Okay.
No doubt. Yep.
And you've got scripts at that site that you gave us?
Yeah, TTP Insider. You got it, brother.
Okay.
Yep.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir.
You got it. Good question.
I love it. All right, we got Veet. I'm gonna try. I hope I said that right. Veet, are you there?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are
Gotcha.
you?
Good.
All right, so my question is for commercial real estate. My commercial broker told me that usually you would have to put down a pretty large sum of earnest deposit money
Yeah.
just to make sure that the seller knows that you're pretty serious and all. So what if I don't have this capital, and this seems like a pretty good potential? In fact, Brent, I brought this up to you a couple of days ago. I sent you a text about this deal.
Yeah.
And possibly partnering up. But I decided to go with a local realtor who's also a commercial broker to kind of help me out.
Yeah.
How would you guys determine the earnest deposit money set
Did
down?
you get the price out of him?
Not just yet. I'm about to send an offer right after this. I was talking to my commercial broker trying to figure out the offer price.
Yeah.
But I think we have a pretty solid offer price, and we're gonna send it to him right after this.
Awesome. So Vita, TTP family member, part of the coaching program. Yeah. Here's the thing, you know, it is, as long as, I mean, I don't know, whenever you're dealing with off-market properties, you set the tone. So, I mean, if he doesn't, if they are, you need to get the price out of them. That's just it. I would verbally tell them the price before I put it together, anything in writing, before I do anything formal, before I do anything, I would call them up and say, hey, listen, it looks like, you know, similar commercial properties are going for around this. Is that how much you would take?
Okay. And
I
then,
wouldn't spin your wheels, because listen, he could want $50 million, right?
Yeah.
What's the expectation? So especially with commercial, you got to pull out their price, because people go crazy with what they think their commercial properties are worth.
Okay. Appreciate it.
So I would hit them up before you put any more effort into it. I would find out the price. Same answer from 2 days ago.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You got it, brother.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, Christian, you are ready to go. Camera on.
Hey, awesome.
Right.
Hey, Brent, nice to meet you, man. Hey, quick question. So I'm kind of new to this wholesale process, kind of learning and going through. I did some cold calling. I eventually got a hold of one guy, came back to make the offer. And my question really revolves around, how do I make the turn? So I was talking to him, trying to find out, what price are you wanting? What price are you wanting? Well, I don't know. Maybe what's on the tax list. And I'm like, okay, great. Let me look what's up on the tax list. Hey, it says it's like 97,000, you know, I'm a wholesaler. So, you know, what's going on with the property? Asked, you know, motivation. I think he was kind of shopping, but at the same time, I came with the offer and then it kind of got silent. And I was kind of bummed because he didn't come up with the offer. I kind of was like, all right, here's what I'm willing to pay for the property.
Sure.
And then he's like, well, let me talk to my wife. I felt like there was a lot of rapport. It was about a 16-minute conversation, which probably was a little too long. Got a lot of history. So I'm following up with them and it's just like ghosted. I met him for just a second. Like I called him on a different number and he's like, I'm like, hey, this is Christian, man. How are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I haven't talked to my wife yet. And I'm wondering, I feel like it got awkward in the turn, if you know what I'm talking about, Brent, like in the turn where I went to make the offer. I don't know if it was voice inflection. I'm trying to figure out that
well,
step,
let me ask you, what's their timeline to sell it?
So it was free and clear. He was willing to go as fast as we could go.
Does he live there?
He lives there with his wife. So I'm like, it can't be that fast because you got to move.
Yeah, you got to dig in a little bit there, right? Because some people knee jerk. You got to get the timeline to see if they're truly motivated, because time will kill all deals, Christian. So the reason, so what I would ask is, okay, if you were to sell this, where would you go to next? And then you gotta hit him with, well, I can get you your money in 30 days. Are you guys going to be able to get out in 30 days? You know what I mean? Before you're hitting them with any kind of value. And then what you want to do is you want to hedge your bets with the way that you're giving them verbal. You got to say, hey, listen, I'm just looking at the comparables, and it looks like your neighbors in similar condition are selling for around whatever the price is. Is that kind of what you were thinking? And then he goes, no, I would never take that. And you go, oh, okay. Did you do it? Is there other upgrades that I don't know about? Tell me more. You know, I want to make sure it's a fair offer. You know, I was just looking at what your neighbors are selling for. See how that kind of puts that force field around you, and you're able to kind of like backpedal a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I totally missed the, I mean, that's a key part. I totally missed that. So
yeah. So one, pull out, because here's the thing. If their motivation is, well, we're just getting older and the house is too big, that's not motivation, right? If the motivation is, oh, well, you know, we like this, but, you know, we're thinking about maybe moving to a different area or different school or whatever else. That's convenience. That's the 90 to 97% of the people that should sell on the market with a real estate agent. we live with that 6 to 10% that are in true distress. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to filter for. That's our bread and butter. So 6 to 10% that want to trade potential equity in their property for speed and convenience.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Brent, thank you so much. And if you want to throw in the chat at some point, I would love to know what the numbers breakdown are from cold calls to contacts. to
200.
actual
You need to
becoming.
talk to 200 and you'll get a deal.
Awesome. Hey,
Listen,
Brent, thank you so much.
Here's the numbers real quick, because this is
Okay.
important. 200 conversations on a distress list, especially your driving for dollars list. 200 conversations, 180 people will tell you to go die. Go,
Right.
they'll tell you no, they'll tell you you're the worst, they'll tell you get a job, they'll tell you, do you see a sign in the yard? They'll tell you all sorts of, they'll call you every, French word they can make up, whatever it is, right? And then, 180. So we have to be able, as human beings, to be able to deal with all that rejection. And then 19 of those, of the 200 will say, yeah, I'd consider an offer. How much will you give me? Something around there. Or yes, I would. And and then they really don't really want to sell, or they should sell retail. And there's going to be one out of the 200 that's like, you know what? My tenants have destroyed this. There's been a fire. The foundation's messed up. I want to sell this piece of land. I just don't want this anymore. Give me what I paid for it in 1986 and I'll sell it to you. Like, that's what you're looking for, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Brent, I really appreciate your time.
Awesome. Yeah, Christian, keep going. You got a great voice. You got a great enthusiasm. If you stay on the phone, I'm telling you, you will make a fortune.
Do you teach this?
Don't do the don't go VA yet. You got to do this yourself.
Okay.
Don't hire somebody to make your calls. All right.
Okay. Are the training scripts I'm so sorry I'm asking. I'm taking up too much time. I'm sorry.
Insider. Yep.
Okay. And you do all that. Do you coach too by any chance?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all in there. You can check it all out. TTP Insider. Check out the YouTube channel as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Brent.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Elise.
Thanks, Christian. And yes,
right.
you do have a very friendly demeanor. So like you can just feel that through audio. So you got
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
Of course. All right. We've got Melvin. Hello, Melvin.
Melvin.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Brent, nice talking to you, brother.
You.
Quick question. I'm a realtor here in Richmond, Virginia. I've been selling real estate now for the last 6 years. But I want to get more into the investing side, truly to build up a flip portfolio.
Yep.
Any advice for me, brother?
Yeah. Well, first of all, here's the thing. Number one, you got to realize this. This is the hardest thing, because I've been licensed since 2004 and I was a real estate agent for a long time. First, if you get into wholesaling, which is going to give you a lot of capital to be able to do a lot of things, and it's going to be basically all wholesaling is sourcing discounted properties. Getting an assignment fee is a different thing, but the assignment fees, my man, that we're getting, I mean, are around the country is 10%, right? It's not that 2.5% that you're dealing with as a realtor, and then trying to shave it off. It's 4 times the amount. So the effort, if you're going to put effort into anything, it would be off-market properties that are ugly. Seriously, you're going to make so much more doing that. The issue is we have that realtor brain that's like, I have a fiduciary duty to represent this person and talk about all the comps and talk about disclosures and talk about all these things. You need to take that brain out and put in the investor brain. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in the investor brain, and remember this. And this is something that most brokers and mortgage companies and everybody else are going to say that I'm full of shit. But the absolute fact is, if you really look at it, it's not the seller that determines the price. It's not the market. It's not the appraisal. It's not the mortgage companies. It's not the listing agent. It is a ready, willing, and able buyer determines the value, right?
Yep.
So Melvin, if you go into a property and you say, I think this is worth 60,000 to me, then it's worth 60,000 to you. You know what I mean? You might be able to wholesale that off for 100,000. That might be worth 100,000 to somebody in your network. You know what I'm saying? So it's changing that mentality of saying, you know what, I am going in as the actual buyer. What's it worth to me as the buyer? That's the biggest hurdle you face, because what happens is if they go, no, I want too much, then you go, oh, well, then I can list it for you. And that's an option, but I just don't like it. I like having this brain on that appointment. And listen, if you want to list it, I've got a great agent in this office. They're phenomenal. They'd love to work with you and get a referral fee.
Okay, awesome. Let's do it.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
just go after off-market ugly houses, Melvin.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And
Melvin.
you're in a great market, Melvin. I mean, the
Thank you,
deals
guys.
are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, we got Rashida. Hi, Rashida.
Hi. I'm
How's it
sorry,
going?
my camera not picking up.
You're all good.
Okay.
What can Brent help you with today?
I've been doing this for a little bit, but I have not done any deals.
Okay.
Because every time I pick up the phone, I get nervous. And on top of that, I work during the day, so it's really hard for me to kind of make the phone calls, or when calls come in to answer it. So that's a real struggle for me.
Sure. Okay. Are you saying how to break out of that?
Yes.
What's your goal, Rashida? I mean, are you wanting, is it to go full time in this business? Is it to wholesale? Is it to have a rental portfolio? Is it to fix and flip? Like, what's your goal in real estate?
The long run is to make portfolio, but I guess I'm starting out as wholesaler. But the issue I run into when I did talk to one or two people, I get stuck with connecting the offer. Like,
okay,
they gave the price and I gave a lowball offer, and then they say no, and that was it for me. I didn't know any other strategy.
Yeah, well, Rashida, you got to talk to 200 people. You know what I'm saying? So this is the big hurdle. That's the difference between people that just absolutely go superstar and the people that kind of get deals here and there every once in a while, is they just talk to more people. That's it. That's literally it, Rashida. So here's the thing. Like, if you tie in, if you really look at it and you go, okay, if I own $10 million of rental portfolios, $20 million, $100 million, whatever your goal is, I own 20 properties, 100 properties, whatever. And I get that. Listen, you don't want to own properties. You want to have financial freedom, right? You want to have freedom of schedule. You know what I'm saying? There she is. All right. So you want all of those things. They're on the other side of the conversations. That's it. If you talk to enough people, you will win. It's just, you have to talk to more people. You have to have more conversations. And listen, it's a skill like anything else. The more that you do it, the better that you're going to be. It's just, you know, it's new, it's foreign, it's weird, it's uncomfortable. You're kind of like nervous. Am I going to offend them? Am I not going to offend them? Are they going to be cool with what I'm saying? But if you go in there with a servant's heart and you're looking for those people that aren't going to help themselves, and you ask and you talk to enough people, you're going to find them. It's just the people that you talk to just don't need your value right now. You're not bringing value to them right now. It's not because you don't know what's going on. It's because they just don't need to sell it at the price that you want to get it at. You know what I mean? Or they don't need to sell it. Maybe they want to, but they're just not at that point yet that they're going to make that decision. So don't let that, remember, sustainable. Just, Rashida, if you talk to 2 people every single day for 100 days, you're going to find that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now imagine if you do that, you talk to 50 people a day, you know, or let's not get crazy, 10 people a day, then it's 20 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
20 days and the average deal size is $10,000 on markets that are under 200,000. And then above that, it's like 20,000. I mean, it's outstanding. I mean, the opportunities are incredible.
So I have one more question. So I did send out a few letters last week, and I have an investor called me.
Okay.
But he is doing the new development. How would I find property? He said if I could find properties for him, he'll buy it. But where would I find properties?
Just ignore it, Rashida.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just putting out feelers for anybody that might have land or know about land. It's a trap. It's just going to distract you.
Okay.
Right now, getting your first deals rolling. I want single family houses that everybody will buy, right? That there's a ton of buyers for. That's, I'm telling you, because right now, Rashida, you are running off of faith that you can do this. If I do this enough and I learn enough and I participate enough and things like this, I am going to be able to do this. I need you to make your first dollar from this. If you make $1, I want it obviously to be closer to 10,000, 20,000, bigger, but you make $1. Now it's a fact. Faith is fantastic. Faith in yourself and your abilities is fantastic. Fact is so much better. Now you just repeat. And now in your brain, you know that you can do it. That's what I want. That's why I want you to go after single family houses that are the ugliest ones in town. Have a conversation with the property owner, ask him, pre-qualify him based on those 4 things: the condition of the property, their timeline to sell, their motivation to sell, and their price. And you're going to find those opportunities, Rashida. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Just be bold, be loud, just go out there. When you in your life, when you feel like you're in the zone, like that's what you need to do. You need to stand up. You need to bring that energy, that enthusiasm, and just know that you can do this. Just know, if I talk to enough people, I am going to win. That's it. And you will. It's undefeated, Rashida. Nobody, there's not a single person that's been like, I've talked to 1,000 people and I didn't get any opportunities. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't happen.
Okay. Thank
Got
you.
it?
Yes.
Good.
I
You
love
can do
that.
this.
I'm writing down great quotes that are happening right now. That's a great one, because it's like, I don't care if it's $1, but it's fact, and I love that.
It is. I mean, it is. As soon as you get any kind of income from providing value, you know that you can do that more and more and more. And listen, you want to make $100,000, you have to provide $100,000 worth of value. That's the equation. You want to make $1 million, it's $1 million worth of value. Why does Bezos have like 240 billion? He's provided $240 billion worth of value. That's just what it is.
Yep. I love it. I'm here for it. All right. We got Danielle Brown here.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Hi,
What is
Danielle.
going on?
Hello, how the heck are you guys?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking me. I kind of have a loaded question. So, well, it's not really loaded. It's just like 3 questions in one.
Multiple.
So I kind of yes, multiple questions. So my first question is, I love driving around and just looking at houses, looking at rundown houses. That's like my favorite pastime. So when I see most of these houses that are off market, a lot of them, of course, don't have any contact information. So my first question is, how do I locate the owner of the home to contact them?
Elise, you want to take this?
Yes.
AJ, you want to take this?
You put it in DealMachine, and then it'll tell you everything about the basic info about the owner, and you can skip trace. You'll even figure out which contacts are connected, which ones are landlines, mobile. I mean, you put it in there, you get that information. You don't have to go to the county records and do all that good stuff. You can just put it in, tap it in DealMachine, and you'll find the owner information. Absentee, vacant.
Danielle, do you have DealMachine yet?
Yes, I think I downloaded it actually today. But I haven't really browsed
welcome to
around
the
in a while.
family.
Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome. Well, first of all, it is exciting that you did that, and now you got to just put it into action. So when you go out there and you're driving and you see an ugly house, a property that needs some love, it literally pulls up all the information on the homeowner, and you can actually for an additional, what is it? What does it cost?
Like
14
cents.
14 cents. An address, you can get their number skip traced, and you get their accurate phone number. So you literally, Danielle, can be in front of an ugly house and call the owner instantly. So literally, and by the way, Danielle, this was not around, a few years ago. It wasn't. I literally was driving around with a notepad and had to go on like True People Finder or whatever it is, or the white pages and try to
Mhm.
get some terrible numbers for them. And they package this whole thing. What do you think? I mean, they're the best at what they do. So you literally just drive around, click the button, and you got it.
Okay, cool.
Danielle, just so you know, we will have a demo after this too if you want to see it in action. So
Yes, please.
just wanna let
Stick
you
around.
know, stick around after we get done with the Q&A. So you have a loaded question though, so go ahead, ask the next one.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys. So my next question is kind of like 2 in 1. So my first, well, I guess it's an observation. So what I would think, and I guess my thought isn't important, but I would think that you would want to find motivated investors first before you find these properties, because I would hate to get something under contract, God willing, and I don't have anybody or an investor that wants to buy it. So is this kind of backwards? Is there a way to work backwards like that? Or is it best to find these properties first and then find investors afterwards?
Are you part of any Facebook groups that are like real estate investing or any of that locally?
Not yet. I know some people personally who like buy homes and multifamilies. So if I were to find something, of course, they would be the first that I would contact.
Sure.
But other than them, no.
There is a phenomenal in that TTP Insider has what's called the cash buyer pack. I show you how to find the top 100 cash buyers in your area. But let me just explain this, Danielle. When you are reaching out to one of these, people that move fast, they make quick decisions, they understand the market, they've done hundreds, if not thousands of deals. If you call them up and you say, hey, listen, I want to bring you some opportunities, they'll tell you, well, what do you got? They'll ask you, what do you got? Right. So this is going to sound a little crazy, but drug dealers don't have to be great salespeople, right? People want drugs, right? You don't have to have, like, if you have a discounted deal, that's like a phenomenal deal, people are going to be beating down the door to get that opportunity for you. Okay. That's how aggressive, how crazy it is. People are literally feed their families, make fortunes, go on vacations, buy chains and boats and cars and daycare by flipping houses and wholesaling houses. And if you bring in the deal that's going to help pay for their lifestyle, they are going to beat down your door. They're going to love it. Okay. There are way more people out there than you think. There are so many people that are looking for those opportunities that if you have a great deal, you're going to get that sold. The real question, Danielle, the real issue that you have, that most people have, the most challenge, I won't even say issue, the biggest challenge that you face is when we're starting, is this a deal or not a deal? That's the biggest problem we have, because you don't want to go and commit and build a relationship with a wonderful 78-year-old woman that, she needs to sell it. She can't take it. She's got her mind there. She's not crazy. She wants to sell this property and she has a price in mind. And you're like, yeah, great. And then you have to cancel it. Right. Because it was too high, because you didn't know if this is a deal or not a deal. That's the issue. So I would highly encourage you, and I said it at the start of this thing, to squad up with somebody that can review the numbers for you, that can let you know that is a phenomenal deal, that'll go on that appointment with you and help you get that signed up. That's more important. And you can give them the deal or share the deal with them until you get that opportunity. But that's really what it comes down to. If you really want to feel confident out there, find somebody that's doing this business, squad up with them and split the deal with them 50-50. Even if you did all the work, Danielle, even if you followed up with these people and you called them and you knocked on their door and you brought them over, a pot pie, or, you brought them over some, something to help them out or whatever else, you're helping them move and clean out their house and whatever it is. And you did all this stuff, I would still split it 50-50 for the experience of being around somebody that'll show you that this is a deal or not a deal.
Okay. No doubt. Thank you guys.
You got it.
Thank you.
Start using that app.
Yes,
I will. Thank you.
All right, Chris, what's going on?
Hey guys, how you guys doing today?
Good. How are you, Chris?
Hey, I'm doing great, Brent. So I'm out here in your neck of the woods in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
So I have DealMachine. I think we've downloaded almost 1,000 leads so far. Looking to upgrade to get more users to do some more driving for dollars. You know, we haven't gotten our first deal yet. We're probably about 2 months in.
Yep.
The issue that we're having is that a lot of home buyers are getting higher cash offers from iBuyers, you know,
Yep.
the Zillows, the open doors. You know, how would you combat that? Especially if you're trying to go with the 70% ARV to about 75, 80 at the absolute highest. You know, how are you combating the iBuyers?
Well, first of all, get rid of that whole 70% thing. Not in Phoenix, bro. Like, we're selling our things at like 94%.
Okay.
Yeah. And listen, anything you find anything, you have any issues, you want me to look at stuff, we don't have to split the deal. You're local, so I'll help you out. Just DM me and let me know. Right. But here's the thing. In Phoenix, yeah, we have the iBuyers, we have all that, but literally today my disposition manager accepted an offer on a property for 70,000 in South Phoenix. That's what we're making. 72,500. Yesterday, they sold another property in Scottsdale, 72,000. And we just locked up a deal in Chandler that's already been flipped for 400,000. It's 2,200 square feet. If you talk to enough people, you'll win. That's it. I mean, you'll run into, yeah, we're talking to OfferPad. Yeah, we're talking to Open Door. Yeah, we're doing that. But remember, they have a buy box, and most of their buy boxes, they have criteria of properties that they can go after. And typically they don't want to do the big rehabs. So go after the really, really ugly ones. They'll do some renovations. They'll do some updating, but you want to go after the ones that are really beat up. You there, Chris? You might have froze up.
So you should get rid of this for kind of bring that up. So yeah, I'm here.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's probably okay. Yep. Sorry, it was trying to connect to the internet. No. So you said go get rid of the 70% and kind of go up to about 90, 94.
No.
When you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I would push values on everything right now, Chris, honestly, but I would go the typical that we look at just to make sure that it's right is 84%. Okay. So take ARV, 84% minus repairs.
Okay.
Is the wholesale price, and you might be able to push it from there.
Gotcha. And you are JVing with folks around the area?
Every day. Yep. Anything you need, Chris, let me know.
Man, I got about 80 some hot leads, man. So we're just trying to get across the finish line.
Oh, done. Done. I'll tell you what. So go to my IG and Brent Daniels _TTP, right? And send me a message. And I'm going to put you in touch with my acquisition manager. His name's Ryan Thornton. And he is absolutely incredible. And anything you got, if you need some help, if you need some reviewing, look at it. We'd love to help.
Awesome. It'll be from my business account, Easy Breeze Solutions LLC. So
Easy Breeze.
Yep, Easy Breeze Solutions LLC.
Will you text Alejandra? Make sure that she sends it to me. All right, cool. Awesome.
Thanks,
Chris.
guys.
I'll send you. Chris.
Connect with Ryan. He is like unstoppable. Yeah.
I got you. Thank you.
Yep.
Love it. Can't wait to hear about that one.
Yeah, squatting up, Chris. Come
on.
Up. He looks like an athlete. I mean, it looks like he was just like a sports polo or something. I used to wear those back in the day. I got you, Chris.
All right, Ian. Ian's probably going to be our last one. So Ian, let's round it out.
Ian.
Hey, what's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I'm coming from St. Louis. Been using DealMachine for about a year now. Just want to say it's been great for us. We tried a couple different platforms, but DealMachine's been the one that's worked so far. My question is, so I've got about 20 guys driving around for us submitting properties, and I've got some of them that want to submit an entire zip code because they just love DealMachine so much and they love clicking around. And I've got other people, being super qualified, super targeted, like they're only submitting like 10 properties a week. So like my question is for people that are using DealMachine at scale, like what's that sweet spot that's working for people for like quality versus quantity on the platform?
Go ahead, Elise.
Okay.
I'll give my perspective after you.
I see with talking, especially with our elite members, like Brent, it's quality over the quantity. You're going to end up wasting, whether that's marketing dollars, time, just time, money overall, if you don't have the quality. Because I see people who put a ton of properties in, and they'll say, well, I didn't get a deal. But I look at some of the properties and I'm like, I don't see the motivation. It sold maybe within the last year. Like, you know, it isn't that distressed. There's not really like, so I see quality over quantity.
Ian, I would put the filter in where it's a minimum ownership of that property is 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you
Cool.
could go a year, you could go 2, you could do, but if you really want to trim that thing up, 7-year filter. Boom. Yep. Because listen, I mean, that's the average. People own properties for 7 years. So if they own it before that, and also I would go after, yeah, Chris, I bet you are a former college. Anyway, sorry. I would go 7 years, and I would go built before 1990, which,
Got it.
St. Louis was built in 1890. So, whatever, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's going to be plenty of opportunities in St. Louis.
Yeah, and Ian, if you what a really cool thing that you can do for your drivers is you can set the highlight of like anything green that's like within that zone of sold over 10 years ago and has the things that Brent just talked about, and then they can see if this is qualified. And so those guys that keep adding all this stuff, you can say, listen, if it's not highlighted like this, like don't
They don't even have the ability to add it, right?
well, they do, but you can tell them, yo, I told you, if it's not green, don't add it, because that's going to take so much time for you to go through all of those. So just tell them, like, say, hey, if it's highlighted green and it's distressed and it has what I'm looking for, like, add it. But if it isn't, that means it doesn't fit that criteria the baseline criteria I want.
Perfect. Thanks for answering that question. I think I'll use some more filters, and at least, I mean, the baseline is 7 years, and 7 years ownership and maybe a year built time will probably at least pare our list down a little bit. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
And Ian, we have, just so you know, our two founders, David and Dave, are from St. Louis, and we have some St. Louis people that I could connect you with too. If you ever wanted to network in there, we have some great DealMachine members there.
Sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Definitely, of course.
Awesome.
And I just, but before we sign off, I think that this is going to be real helpful for a lot of people that are looking at this percentage thing here. Just to make it so that 84% works in certain markets. All right. It works in the markets that are over 200,000. All right. And I'm going to go real simple here because it's going to give you an easy path here to understand, am I close on the price? Okay. And if AJ, if you could just, or Dakota, or whoever, I think it's AJ that's writing it, if you could just put this in the notes. All right. If a property is $250,000 or more, okay, so 250,000 plus, AJ, you want to be around 66%. Okay. So DealMachine has the estimated value on the app. Take the estimated value times 0.66 if it's above 250, and that'll put you in a nice sweet spot. If it's below 250, 50%. From 250 to 100,000, 250 to 100,000, 50% of the app. Okay. And then the last one, there's only 3 here. If it's 100,000 and below, you need to be at 25% typically. All right. So it makes it very simple. 250 plus, 66%. 250,000 below to 100, 50%. 100,000 and below, 25%. And that'll give you a good. That's perfect, AJ. Thank you. Take a screenshot of it, guys. Write it down. Put it somewhere so that you have an idea if it's in there. And listen, sometimes it's not accurate. I mean, these things are algorithms, so you might have to mess with it at some point, but it's going to be real close. It's going to help you out a lot, and it's going to prevent a lot of those people that are on this chat that are using creative avoidance to not take action. You know the creative avoidance. Well, I need to comp a lot more properties before I go out there and talk to a property owner. Oh, I need to build up my list to at least 1,000 before I start talking to a property owner. Oh, I won't get out of my car to go knock on the door. They probably don't want to get bothered. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. They're probably napping, you know, whatever else. You know what? I got to do the dishes real quick, and then I'm going to call these leads. I'm going to call them. But before I do, wait, let me hop on this podcast real quick. Let me watch this YouTube real quick. Okay. Creative avoidance. And a lot of that is because you're petrified of people saying yes. You're petrified of somebody saying, yes, I do want to sell this property. And you go, oh shit, what do I do now? Right? That's what's still holding you back. If you know that you could throw out some price in that price range, and that gives you confidence, and you found the condition, timeline, motivation, and the price, ooh, all that confidence, all that certainty, all that likability starts floating up. All of a sudden you start feeling a little bulletproof. You feel like, you know what, I can do this. I can be one of those people that I see on these panels or on YouTube or whatever else. You can literally, there are more opportunities. And I'll leave you with this stat. There's over 10 million properties in the United States, 10 million single family properties that have been vacant for over a year. All right. If you think that there's not enough deals, or there's too many investors and there's too much competition, I am telling you, there are more properties than there are us by a long shot. It is an unlimited supply. The day that you drive around and your city, town, community is a utopia of beautiful, pristine, beautifully sparkling properties, then talk to me. But it's never going to happen because properties get beat up every single day that they're alive. It just takes time. There's always going to be more opportunities.
Sure does. Oh my gosh, Brent, thank you so much. I know we've gone over too. I appreciate you being here. Everyone, I know that AJ's been wonderful dropping Brent's IG handle, the website. We will have the replay of this next week that we will also have linked everything, but please go follow Brent. And thank you so much for doing this, Brent. We really
thank you, guys. Join me on Wednesdays, live show Wednesdays. Yes. If not, watch the recording. I'm telling you, it is bananas. It's question and answers. I've got a whole team. I bring the best of the best of the best in the country on. It's absolutely incredible. So thank you, Elise. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Dakota. You guys are the best. Thank you, DealMachine. I've made so much money with you guys. so much. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys all. And everybody on here.
We love you too, Brent. Thank you guys so much. Everyone who's on here, we are going to do a demo now of DealMachine.
Let's do it.
All right, awesome. And everyone, please be sure to go thank Brent on his Instagram because he did a wonderful job. Let me just get this up here.
Always such a treat to have Brent on. Great information, lots of energy.
Love it. Okay, so I am going to show, we're doing this very high level, everyone. So again, I want to just say, I know that AJ's been putting everything in the chat. Please, please, please sign up for one of the trainings we have that Dakota runs, because that is where you're going to really learn a lot of this stuff. But we want to show the high level view of what DealMachine is and what it does for you. There you go. Thank you, AJ. Wonderful. Thank you everyone who came with great questions too. This was amazing. We do this bi-weekly, so please, love to have you all here. Our next one's actually gonna be live in person with our very own, he's a member. He got, okay, y'all, I just gotta tell you this right now. His name's Raman. He got 2 wholesale deals. The first one was on a 7-day trial with the Driving for Dollars plan through us. And then the second deal was on the 7-day trial of our list builder plan. There's a great success call with him, but he's actually going to be here and he's been blowing it up. And he's also the Atlanta market. And I think, oh, who was it that said that she was in the Atlanta market? Crap, I can't
Was Ebony from the Atlanta market?
Ebony?
Yes.
Was Ebony from?
Yep.
Ebony answered for, thank you, Ebony. I was like, I knew who it was. Okay, well, Ebony, he's in Atlanta, so I'd love to hook you all up to connect and get that going. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Hopefully. Okay, see my screen okay?
I got it.
Okay, awesome. So we're just gonna go high level. So we have driving for dollars. With this, you get the mobile map, you get real-time driving routes on our Pro and Elite plans. You actually get the driving routes shown on your map, but you do get routes that are listed in there. You can still track those. They're just not shown on the map. They're tracked in a log. Tracy, reach out. I will be happy to connect you guys. Recruit and manage drivers. That's for our Elite plan. Smart property filters. That's what I was kind of talking about. And let's just go on into that. So dashboards first. I have an Elite dashboard. So this looks a little bit different. Because you're usually, if you're on Elite, you're really expanding your drivers. So you can go ahead and move this to your goals. This is also where you're going to see a lot of your analytics. Then we're going to go to the map. So this is where I would always default your app to, especially if you're doing driving for dollars with us, because this is going to be what you open up. I don't know how many times I was driving and I wasn't intentionally driving for dollars. I was just driving and I wanted to go ahead and like look for a property. I see one and I'm like, oh man, I got to add this. As you can tell, I've added a lot. These are the routes I was kind of talking about. But anyways, when I open the app, I want it to be on the map because that's where I'm going to, it's where I want to add the property. So I'm going to be here and I'm going to actually go to a place that I haven't been. So that way I can show how to actually add a property. So you can zoom out, you'll be able to see my routes. Go over here. All right, so this is one area I haven't been. The reason why a lot of these, where it's like a big squad of them that have been added, is because they've been added through our list builder. So let's say I'm driving through here. I am gonna just tap on this property and it's gonna show me that it's an absentee owner. Oh, hot dog, all right. And then I'm gonna press add lead. All right, it's gonna show me the total assessed value, improvement value. I have custom fields, which if you want to learn more about that, we have that in our YouTube channel. Here are the comps. So what Brent was talking about was the estimated value of the property, and this is where you would find it. Comps is an add-on feature. It's 20 bucks a month, and you can filter through the area that you want to be looking at. Yes, AJ just sent me and asked if we can go over the mailer campaign frequency. Yes, we can. So this is the estimated value. So like, I'm trying to, sorry, I was looking at questions. I need to stop looking. I know that Dakota and AJ will tell me.
I got you.
Okay, so there's the estimated value. So like Brent said, so if it's over, so this one's 85. So this is under 200. So he said he would do the 25%. Now you can take some of these out. Say some of these really don't match what you wanted to do. You can just click and it will take it away. And here you'll be able to assign it to someone if you have a team. So you can add it to a list that you have if you have certain areas, and you can add tags. Tags are really great because you can actually say like siding falling off, tall grass. This is great for when you have drivers. So say that I need the criteria to match, like it has to have like some sort of distress on the house. Well, that would be where they'd put it. Highlights. This is what I was talking about with, so let's actually do, so we can do sale date, and I usually do over 10 years ago. Now say I want to also do a sales price. There's that there. You can do equity percentage, year built. You could do that. I'm just going to put this as it was
before
built.
1990, right?
Yeah, it was before 1990. Let's do 1980. Okay, look, I got one here. So this is the highlights, and you can click on it and there's the absentee owner. Okay, they bought it in 2010. You can see how much they bought it for, and there is a link to the county link here. So this can be saved for your drivers, or you can use it for yourself. This is available on all plans, just so everyone's aware. You can do pin mode, tap to add mode. Pin mode is a two-step process where you tap the property, you press add lead. Tap to add mode is you just tap the property and it's added to your lead list already. So going on to the driving tab itself, this is where if you are on our basic plan, starter plan, you will be able to see your routes and where you've been. You can see the time driven. You can see the miles that you've driven. This is good also for managing your team. For drivers, you can invite someone to be on your team to drive. They will not see any of the owner information. That way, you know, they're not like stealing your leads or anything like that. But they can still see the highlights, so they know it's at least, you know, what you want. Besides having signs of distress. If you're on our elite plan, you can actually recruit drivers with a landing page that goes through an entire training portal that you get to customize. We do have videos already in there, but you can take them out and put your own videos in, and they get an automated welcome email. All right. What questions do we have?
I think AJ's gotten to a few of them. So yes, this is with the starter plan, the map tab, the driving tab, you have access to all that. Highlights you have access to. The route tracking is the only thing you won't be able to see with the starter plan. That and route planning, which I don't know if you were covering. Sorry, I was watching the chat there. But those are the two things that on the starter plan you wouldn't have access to. But everything else that Elise just showed you, you would have access to on the starter plan.
All right, Dakota, I'm going to leave List Builder to you because during this webinar, I said, Dakota, don't let me forget to show them how to do this on List Builder. So Dakota, you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, I'd love to. So List Builder is our other product that we have here, right? And it's the other form of lead generation that you can use. And as Elise is showing you, you can build a list one of three different ways, right? For your market, you're going to set up the boundary that you're in. So you can set up from a zip code, a city to a custom drawn area. So you can be really, really defined with where you're pulling these lists for. If there's a certain neighborhood or a certain part of your city that you want to invest in, but maybe you don't want to capture the whole zip code or the whole city, you can target that. And then once you've done that, you'll see you get to select the motivations that you're looking for, right? You've got quick lists, right? Which are more of those general broad types of lists, all vacant properties, all absentee owned properties. These are more of the competitive lists that you might find out there. But the one that I wanted to talk about, and Elise wanted to talk about as well, because we had a lot of questions on finding buyers, and building a list is a great way to do that. So you'll see the one that she's selected here is owners of multiple properties in the quick list section. And the idea behind that, right, is you can pull a list for owners of multiple properties in the area you're investing, the zip code, the city, wherever. And chances are, if they already have a few properties, they would be interested in adding additional ones. So you'll get a number of people. You'll see there are 10,656 leads that are estimated for 46203, right? That all own multiple properties. So you can reach out to them with a phone call, a mailer that just says, hey, look, I'm a local wholesaler in this area. I'm really interested in working with you. I know you own a few properties. Next time I have a deal under contract, I'd love to send you this information, you know, and just see how they respond to that. And then pull the list. There are other ways to pull lists as well. I go over all of those in the list builder training that we hold. So definitely check that out. AJ put the link in there just now. So you can register for that. And we'll go over all of that. But she also selected it to be a smart list, right? And what that means is right now, when she pulled the list, there were almost 10,600 people in that list, right? 10,500 people. And we update our data every Monday, right? So, you know, there may be other properties, you know, over the span of the time that you're using DealMachine that also start to accumulate other properties. Well, when you select your list to be a smart list, as soon as that data gets updated, that they also own other properties, they will get added into this list. So it's a great way to continually have these new people that you can reach out to, you can put in your process. You can check the breakdown, and the breakdown is essentially just what leads you have and what lead status they're in. It's one of the best metrics to watch for specific list performance, right? If you want to know how many you're marketing to, how many you've sent offers to, how many did you actually close on, or how many were just unresponsive and unqualified. Obviously, those are more for other lists that you're pulling for actual lead generation purposes instead of, you know, building a buyer's list. But it's a phenomenal way to really track the individual performance of these lists that you're pulling.
Yes. And again, join Dakota's training because he goes into this more. But we actually have a drive this list button that you can assign a list to your drivers or to yourself to drive, and it will do GPS navigation to those properties to check. So we're actually having a video coming out literally in 45 minutes that goes over door knocking and how to use DealMachine to assign a list to yourself to go door knock, how to respond to different door knocking scenarios, and then also how to note take on that in DealMachine and do follow up and everything. So definitely check that out as well. So a couple of things to go into. Plans include the real estate data. So we showed you it's county records, there's mortgage balances, vacancy, pre-foreclosures, skip tracing. So actually I will show you the skip tracing, and then also direct mail marketing, and we'll go high level over that. We have great video resources on how to actually work our custom mailing system, and a great article that Dakota himself wrote. And I have to say it's pretty fabulous with wonderful screenshots and everything.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Dakota. Thank you for putting it together. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my leads list. So this is where everything lives. If you have our list builder, if you have driving for dollars, this is where all your leads go. This is where you can import a list. Say you have a list already that you want to import. You can do that here and custom map it out. You can see pictures of the houses. You can see, so these are all the ones that I just pulled with buyers. So I have Street Pick, and it'll automatically upload this within the hour of the actual street view of the house, which I think is pretty phenomenal. And you can make those bigger, you can make them smaller. So right now they're going to be blank. You can do the lead statuses. So if I wanted to bulk edit here, I would just click on this. It'll collect the first 25, and then I can select all 20,000 of my leads to change if I wanted to. And I can start mail. This will not start the mail right when you click the button. It will prompt you to tell you like what kind of mail you want to start. So actually I'll just click it. So it'll ask me what campaign I want to start it on. It'll then prompt me to another screen to make sure I know how much I'm spending. So we make sure that we go in there. And then skip tracing. I can go ahead and skip trace one of these. So let's just say I want to skip trace. Who owns this? Jake and Jake LLC. So this is a corporate, but guess what? I can still skip trace it. It's just going to cost me a little bit more, but usually corporate skip tracing, I end up having pretty good luck with because it's a corporation. Oh no, I say that and then the one time it fails. So if it fails, we run it through about a couple different data providers to try and find it. You do not get charged if the skip trace has failed. Let me go ahead and show you the rest of this bulk editing before I get in there, but I will show you one. So change status, you can change it from with marketing, pending approval, appointment set. You can do all that. You can assign a lead owner to it to follow up with the leads. You can add it to a list. Here's that drive leads button that you can do and put a task in there for them. More, you can pause campaigns, end a campaign, export the leads. Definitely highly recommend checking out Zapier integration so you don't have to continue doing that all the time. The filtering here is just like it was for the highlights. So you just filter the leads and you can filter them by all those fields. We keep it very much the same throughout each one. So driving for dollars, the leads list building. You can edit the columns that you see here. So lead status, list, tags, so on and so forth. All right, so I'm actually going to filter by skip trace was successful. And mine might take a little bit because there's 20,000 leads in there and it's going, what are you doing to me, lady? All right. So this one was skip trace. 3 phone numbers were found. So I wanted to show you guys what this looks like. So I was talking earlier, once we skip trace through these data providers, we then put it through another stacking of figuring out if it's even connected. This one, it shows that the caller ID, it shows if it's mobile or if it's a landline. Now, here's the thing. Where's this person located? Where's their mailing address? So this is Chicago. So I'm going to say, this is probably a good number because it says Chicago. This is probably a good number because it says Chicago. And then sometimes you'll get email addresses or additional addresses depending on what the data providers find. And then I can see a quick little shot of that property right there. Now in here, you can take notes. So you can see the activity here. You can add notes. You can tag team members. You can see all the activity that's happened. You can create a task. So as you're cold calling, you can create follow-up tasks and then find them here in this tab over here. And you'll see all the ones that I have overdue. Tisk tisk Elise, you should have had these done. I do a lot of tests. So there's that. Now I want to kind of go ahead into mailers, unless, was there questions I should show on the leads list?
Did you show lead status to how to change that? And
yes, but I can go back and
cool.
Lead status, just to go over it again, because I want to make sure, but you can actually go in here and then it says with marketing right now, but I can just click on this little caret and it'll come down and show me all the other statuses I can change it to. Sorry, you can't hear my computer, but it's very much going. It's gonna go fly. All right, so campaigns. Now we have your marketing campaigns that are just the single sends that send the same postcard over and over again. If you have our campaigns add-on, you will be able to send different postcards each time and have a whole custom campaign around it. So sending once with absentee. So this is the one that only has one time. I can repeat it every, so often. We say 21 days. You can do one that's a drip campaign. So this one has, how many steps do I have? 5. And then I have this one 30 days after, 30 days after, and they're all different postcards. And I can see the performance of them. I can see my estimated amount for these. Designs over here. Again, we have some videos on how to do this. We actually have a series going on right now of Rochelle, one of our customer success managers, showing and giving out free custom designs for specific campaigns. So you can do postcards in 4x6, 6x9, 6x11, or you can do our handwritten postcards. There you go. It does not look just like this. It is written with actual ink. Shamar, I will answer that. So most skip tracing companies, it's around 70% accuracy. So ours is just in line. We test against other skip tracing companies and we usually, AJ actually does a lot of that. But AJ, I'm going to have you respond to that. You find it better?
Well, in the tests that I have done, it's right there. I mean, the more numbers you call, the more person you get to talk to. It's still a numbers game, but definitely you get connected to people or to relatives of the owners of the houses.
Perfect. Thank you, AJ. All right, now also I wanted to show you guys the mailer queue. So I have my mail paused currently, but actually I'm going to be unpausing it here shortly. And you can see all of them here. If there are any mailer issues, those will show up right here. That is a very high level of the mailing system. It is a beast of a thing, people. So if you need more information, again, I would definitely check out our YouTube channel. All right, going into more, there's a lot here. The ones that I want to really touch on is our selling page, because this is for everyone. Once you get, and I'm saying once you get the property under contract and you need to send it out to your buyers list, do it here. This is for every plan that we have. You can post an actual property and send the sales page link and they can fill out if they're interested in buying it, and it'll come into your DealMachine account so that you can follow up with that. Okay, so the buyer's messages will come in here. And then Dakota, you want to go over settings really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So go in your settings, you just basically have access to everything, right? Your profile information, your email, you know, photo, all of that. Plans and add-ons is the one that I like to point out a lot. Obviously, we have the best support team in the business, and they are more than welcome to, or more than happy to help you guys change your plans around, upgrade you to, you know, from starter to professional, or add on any of the additional options that we offer. But you can also do it in plans and add-ons. And plans and add-ons as well is a great place to track your numbers for the month as well. Obviously, we have certain lead limits that you add for each plan, and that's where you can go in and check, you know, okay, I'm at, you know, 350 out of my 500 for the starter plan, driving for dollars, you know, that I'm doing. So you really get to track a lot of that. And then of course, any of the add-ons, Street Pick, campaigns, mail tracker, all of that you can manage from there as well. And then the rest of it, right? You've got property tags. You can manage your property tags there. Custom fields, you can also update there. I know Elise talked about that. Custom fields are available for professional and elite members. Professional members have 2 custom fields. Am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
3, I think.
3 custom fields that you can add. Elite members have unlimited, but those are for things that you would want to track that might be from outside. So if you're importing from, you know, some other place, you can track what that account number would be, you know, for that other platform, or whatever you're using to track that type of stuff. Lead statuses, you can create new lead statuses, different lead statuses. That is only for elite members. And you can also kind of reorder them as well. So if you want certain ones to show up before others, and then create new lead statuses as well for things that you want to track. And then of course your promos. So you can enter promos for any codes that you get from, you can show your people that you're giving your code out to how to enter your promo code into their account there. Dark mode is great. DealMachine is wonderful. Sometimes it gets a little bright. So, you know, at night, usually I'll turn on dark mode. So it's not quite as bright while I'm sitting maybe in a dark room, although I should probably turn on the lights, but you can use dark mode if you'd like. And then of course, importing lists as well, you can do from here too. So you would just import your CSV file and they will get added. You'll have to map out everything, but you can add them directly into your account.
Awesome. Great job. Sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. They're going nuts. Awesome. So that is our high level. Oh, I about hit something. High level DealMachine demo. This is going to be on a replay for you guys next week. So please, go subscribe to our channel. Again, we are having a door knocking video coming out in now almost like 15 minutes or half an hour. I don't know what time it is. So anyways, I really highly recommend watching it. Tell us what you guys would like to see as well. We want to help you in your real estate investing journey. But really excited to have you all here. Hope to see you guys at the next one. We are having, I just want to announce this because we haven't announced it yet, but we are having the Clever Investor Cody Sperber live with us Tuesday on our YouTube channel. So go subscribe. We're actually going to be scheduling that out here, but he's going to be there Tuesday at 1 o'clock. There will be a replay. And I am going to have a social post that if you can't make it and you comment with your questions, I will make sure that we can get those to Cody to answer for you. So again, just thank you guys so much. Very thankful for our DealMachine family. We love you guys. Have a beautiful and safe night. And as always, happy deal finding.
Happy deal finding.